Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of habits, drinking more beer for Barleywember. Diving into the cellar once again to drink a present that I got from Hopskull Beer Guide, a fellow Danish beer blogger. He sent me this either as a Christmas present or it was when I got my twins. So, or our twins, me and my girlfriend's daughters. It was one of the two, I think. So thanks a ton for that, Pau, aka Mr. Hubskull. So for Barleywember, this is really appropriate to try because this is made for Barleywember, or it originally was. I think it was made in 2021. Yes, it was, and they actually recommended to drink it this year by the latest. Wow, English, not good right now. They recommend it. They recommend. Oh my God, Peter, to drink it by September this year. Oh shit, and we're past that. But yeah, this is from BrygBrygBryg, and this is their BeerBloggers Barleywember beer, a double mashed bourbon barrel aged barley wine. There we go. So this one is by BrygBrygBryg. I've never reviewed a beer from them. They're a Danish brewery, small brewery, microbrewery, 10.6% this one. They make a lot of beers that are unorthodox and different, not a saison. And I think I've only tried one of the beers, which was like a raspberry. Was it wild ale or a saison? I can't remember. But mainly because a lot of their stuff doesn't really get here. I did at one point try a quad, I think, that I really did not like. But that's a long time ago. It was like a soured quad or something like that. That was super interesting. But that's a long time ago. So they are also, again, they always make things a bit different. And they also did that with this barley wine, just like the previous one. Depending on which order you'll see these videos, but they used orange peel and coriander in it. So besides that, it's also made with barley malts and rye malts, of course, barley wine, but also some rye and then some oats as well, and then they also use some honey and then put it in bourbon barrels. And I think it might have been Heaven Hill. I can't exactly remember. It's a while back since it came out, but let's check it out. More barley wine. Pours out in the glass, a nice color. It's coppery or something like that. Slightly, it's not hazy, it's quite clear, but it's just because there's a few floaties in the bottle. But you get that, especially with age. But what's interesting, when I popped the cap on this, it was like, but pouring it out, it looked like it had really, really gentle carbonation, almost flat. Like there was next to no head forming. But I think barley wines, they can handle not being that highly carb. In fact, I think barley wines should not be highly carbed. But yeah, it looks nice in the glass. Let's check out the aroma on this one. Thanks to Pau for the beer. I immediately smell orange peel, and I smell something that reminds me of Angostura bitter, or whatever it's called. It almost smells a bit like old fashioned. That was probably the idea. That's probably why. I don't know. There's not coriander in that, but there's a little bit. But the barrel is very light. It's not like that screaming bourbon character where it just jumps out at you. But I don't know if this is barrels that's been used before or first fill, second fill, whatever it is. Like actually, I failed to do any research before the video. Sorry for that, but yeah, it's malty, it's bready, it's caramelly. There's definitely the coriander too, just like the other one. There's like Belgian vibes, but I think that's because there's spices in it. So oak. It smells like it's also not going to be the richest barley wine in the world, but it doesn't smell half bad. Let's check it out. Cheers. And again, thanks to Pau for the beer. Certainly richer than the other one. It's like the other one dialed in a little bit more, I think. But man, I wish that there was more barrel to this. It's there, but it's like, it could be more intense. The main component from the barrel I'm getting is like a sweet almondy kind of flavor, maybe a touch of vanilla. It's actually a whole lot better than I thought. I was fearing that this would be like a weird one because of the adjuncts. You can also tell that it's oxidized a bit in the cellar. There's a little bit of a port sherry kind of thing. Also caramelized honey to this one. I'm guessing the honey would be fermented away. It depends. But that's in here. Like, it's rare that you really taste actual honey flavor. Unless it's really big beers. And it's because the yeast is done fermenting because it's dead. But yeah, it's caramel, it's toffee, it's fudge. There's like orange blossom nuances too. because of the orange peel, I guess. It's not like full-blown old-fashioned when you taste it, though. Like, there's a little bit of those kind of slight old-fashioned type nuances to it. Almond, some slightly dry, woody notes. It's got a slightly sticky mouthfeel. Like, it's like, it doesn't feel rich and heavy, but it's sweet. Like, it's weird. Like, I think it's sweet and like slightly decadent, but it doesn't feel rich. It doesn't have like all the rich robustness. It's like a little bit of one of those kind of like really heavy caramel beers or caramel barley wines, where like the rest is just like a little bit more, like there's not that much depth. I think it's nice. It's a nice unorthodox barley wine, but I'm just not that floored either. I think there's some some things going on with the balance. Like, it has a little bit of like sugary sweetness, and there's not enough barrel to like cut through that. And then at the same time, it's got sugary sweetness, which would indicate that it had a big mouthfeel, but it doesn't. It's like medium, kind of, it's not like rich and full, to me at least. It's almost like a little bit like the mouthfeel of, if you water, like it tastes, I don't know why I thought of that, but it tastes a little bit like candied sugar, but if you mix simple syrup, there we go. It's a bit like simple syrup, actually, if you make that for making cocktails. It feels a bit like that, like oily but watery at the same time. And I'm wondering if that's the barrel drying it out or whatnot. There's just something that's a little bit off to me with the balance on it. Like, it's sweet, and it's more of like a sugary sweet than complex sweet. And then it's dry, but you have some stickiness on the lips, but it also feels watery. It's like, and then you have all these caramelly, fudgy flavors. There is the orange, and then there's the coriander, making it seem slightly Belgian. And then there's also that like drying oaky finish, some of those almond nuances. It also has a little bit of like a Coca-Cola vibe for some reason, like a cola bean, just like the previous barley wine I did. And I wonder if that's what happens when you try and play around with spices in barley wines and they're not like decadently rich. And I'm not like saying that the barley wines need to only be sludge bombs. They don't. This is nice, but there is something that could be done, at least personally, I think, to balance it better. That being maybe more time in the barrel, so the booze could cut through some of the sugar flavor, or it could be higher bitterness in terms of hops, for example. Like a little bitterness to balance everything out. Because this feels like there's like next to no hops in it. But it could also just be because it's like a sweeter barley wine and then you just don't taste it. Like, if you think of some of the American hype barley wines that are massively sweet, this drinks sweeter, but it's most likely not. It just drinks so much sweeter. And I don't know why it feels so like thinned out. It's double mashed. So yeah, it's an odd one. It's an odd one, but it's certainly a fun barley wine to try. And it's nice to see some people also playing around with the style, so it's not only like the sweet caramel fudge bombs, even though this is quite fudgy. But yeah, it's interesting with the barrel, how I feel like it's just light barrel nuances. Like, you have to have a good palate to really almost like notice it when you sip on it. I think it's there, but I think to a lot of people blind, they might not even pick up on it. And then with all these spices, it seems Belgian, which is interesting. Yeah, it's fun. It's good, but not something I'm super stoked on. So yeah, in terms of a grade for the BeerBloggers Barleywember beer from 21, and I've seen a lot of people, they say like this one is the best. They've done this one and then they did 22, and apparently the 22 people didn't like that much. But I don't know. They changed some things in that one. That was not honey. I think it was muscovado sugar. But a grade on this one. I like it more than the Nemeton, but I'm also like not super stoked on it. It's like, I think it's almost too sweet. Like, there's, again, the balance is a bit off. Like, I could solo dome a bottle of a deal with the Devil Double Oaked. It's like 15% sweeter than this, but it's just made in a way so it's easier to drink because of balance with barrel, base beer, everything. Here, it's just it just becomes too much like just sugar brown water type stuff. But it's decent. 85, I think. If you like barley wines and you want to try something a bit different, you should. And hats off to BrygBrygBryg for making something different and playing with the style. And I actually could see barley wine going into like if you had to try and like not, I prefer barley wines just in barrels, but if you had to try and think of it a bit differently, you could try and do one that was like old fashioned. I mean, that'd be interesting. I think that could be part of the idea here with the orange peel. But if you guys had the 21 edition of BrygBrygBryg's BeerBloggers Barleywember beer, let me know what you thought of it. It did fine in the cellar. I think right now, if you have bottles, crack them now. No need to sit on them. Thanks a ton to Hopskull Beer Guide even for the beer. And as always, comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page, and Twitter, and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers in the barley wine. And see you guys in another Barleywember beer review of more barley wine. Cheers.